So this week is going to be the last trading week for the month of July, and for the most part we've been very conservative with our risk, and the month has been a good one for us. We did a detailed forecast the previous week where we focused on Swiss pairs. We looked at Euro USD, Euro CHF, and also GBP CHF. However, we did share and take Euro CHF within the Telegram community. I'm going to be linking our Telegram community in the video description so that you join us and be part of our winning trades as well. For the most part, our forecast did play out, and also we're going to be going into like a detailed forecast for what to expect ahead of the trading week. This particular week is going to be packed with a lot of activities. We'll be expecting NFP, as well as the month of August is going to kick off its own trading activity. NFP for the most part would open the floodgates for us, and we're going to be looking at multiple scenarios as usual to know what to expect. And don't go anywhere, stick to the end of the video so that we get to see my watch list and multiple scenarios and forecasts for what to expect, right? Before we get on to the video and what we have for the day, make sure you subscribe to the channel. About 75% of our viewers are not subscribed to the channel, guys. Hit the subscribe button and encourage our channel to grow. Our major target is to hit 1k subs as fast as possible. Do encourage the channel to grow, and also drop a comment if you did take the trade which we shared the previous week, and if the analysis did help you. So let's get on to what we have for today. So starting off with EURCHF. EURCHF was the particular trade we focused on for the previous week, and I did share the signal on the Telegram community, and this gave us about 100 pip during the course of the week, and that was a very good one, more than enough for the week. We did execute this trade on Tuesday, and we held all through till Wednesday, and we hit our target basically. So looking at this here, this was like the setup build up. This was how price was before the market gave us the move which we were expecting for the week. So this was how the market was looking like for the previous week. Also, I'm going to link the previous video for the forecast we had on the video description so that you can go back if you missed the previous week. And this will be like a series of videos which will be dropping weekly so that we can keep you guys hooked, and also spot on with what we are doing. Analysis which is going to cover trade that we are expecting. If we did take that trade, we'll also talk about it. If we miss any trade during the course of the week, we'll also talk about it and be dialed in with the entire process. This is basically to document what we do and also help you guys as fellow traders to enhance our skill in the trading space. So looking at this is on the daily chart. However, when we drop down to the hourly charts here on the 4-hour, we get to see that this was a very quality setup. This is a+ setup for me based off the way I trade. We can see that price was trickling all the way up here. We've been trending up for the most part. We had this breakout and we retested this zone, which was the major reason why this trade was executed. So if you look to the left here on our screen, you get to see that this was like a zone where price was trading towards for it to gather that momentum and give us that major drop in price. So if we hit the replay toolbar, we'll get to see that we tapped into this region. We hovered around that level for quite some time before the momentum kicked in, and this was like a good day trading setup which we were able to capitalize on, and we did even went a little bit further. So this lower region here is like our take profit too, but 100 people was like more than enough, and these are times when you don't need to be greedy with whatever you're doing in the market. So over to what we have here, we also had pound Swiss. Pound Swiss also was a very similar setup with what we have on EURCHF. However, I didn't actually take pound Swiss. This was also one of those within the same time zone as EURCHF. So taking both trades is like having the same risk. That's the way I see it. But then there are times when when I have that enough time and also very focused in the market, I could actually take both. But then taking one and the other one still playing out is not a bad idea. So that's what we have here. GBP-CHF. However, if we move over to what I have for this week here, there's my purple list here, and this is what I'm going to be focusing on for the coming week, which we're having now. So this week is going to be NFP week. We're going to be expecting these three major things to play out. The first scenario that I'm focusing is price could commit, like these setups could play out and hold up from midweek, and probably we can see like a false movement or a temporary slow in price action, and then Friday, which is NFP, will get a lot of action from the market. That's the first scenario. The second scenario is the market could be totally very slow throughout the course of the week, and nothing might happen, but then when we have NFP announcements coming out on Friday, we could see lots of activity and trades playing out here and there all over the market. Then the third scenario could be that we could actually get false moves, and everything will like rearrange itself, like retrace and all that. Then NFP, the actual direction the market wants to go with, will play out. So these are like three major scenarios I'm looking at, but for the most part, let's take a look at the dollar index. The dollar index is going to give us clues of what to expect, and also I'm also going to be having Euro USD again on my watch list. The previous week the market did not even give us much movement, and Euro USD is still stuck around where it was before. So if I go on to what I have here, I'll transfer this to my watch list for this new week, and let's get back to what we're looking at. So starting off with DXY, this was my forecast on DXY for the previous week. However, we're rolling into a new month, so I want to start with a monthly overview of what DXY is doing. So DXY has been ranging around this region for months now, for quite some time now, so we're still stuck within this range. And this previous candlestick we had traded into these highs, came back to close midway into this trading range, and this current candlestick also is having about 3 days before the month ends. We have just 3 days, and the month of July will be summed up. So if we drop down to like a weekly chart, looking at the weekly charts here, we can see that dollar is still pretty much hooked within the midpoint here, the mid range between this structural high here, that's this level here, this level here, and also these lows here. So we're still stuck in between this range. So what I want to see is more commitment in price. If we look at the daily charts here, we get to see that we are seeing some slow down in whatever is happening with the dollar here. We are having a slight choppy price movement. Now this could give us the next major directional move, which we'll be expecting, which could be dollar strengthening and trading to the upside, or on the flip side we could see dollar bouncing off from here and selling off. But then all of these are yet to be seen. We are going to have a clear directional move when the market do open. So if we look at the hourly charts here, for the meantime, there's a short-term build up or momentum of what we're seeing from price action. This could give us a short-term buy to the upside. However, the longer term plays is yet to be clear, is yet to be very obvious to us. So here we are having a classical chart pattern. We have the head, inverse head, left shoulder and right shoulder, and this is pointing towards the upside. So if we do get a strength in dollar, definitely Euro USD will be expecting a sell-off here. Now looking at Euro USD, the chart markup we have for Euro USD is very similar to what we had for last week, still within the same price range. So if you go to the weekly chart here, on the weekly chart we get to find out that price rejected of this region, and this is the next structural low which we're having here, which is simply the 1.0600 region. That's about this price point here. So what we want to do now is we want to scale down to lower time frames. On the daily chart, we get to see that reversal which price gave us. We've reversed from this level. Price has committed to the sell side. We've dropped. We're looking to like retest this region for us to go lower. Now this is going to be valid in as much as dollar gains a short-term strength in the market. So that's what we want to look at now. So price is currently looking at retesting this region here. So this region will be like a major price level which will determine if we're going to sell off or not. So looking at this now on the hourly chart, on the 4-hour chart, currently you can see that price is currently trading within the zone, and I want to see this commit to build up enough momentum here for us to sell. Now when this sell starts to kick in, this will be our first area of profit taking. This will be our first area of profit taking. That's our TP1. What is going to invalidate this setup is when we see price aggressively blow up these highs and bounce off from here. That will be a shift in momentum and will possibly stay away from the market. That will be a sell side being invalidated, guys. So looking at this, if this sell side do commit, we'll be putting our stops just above this region here. I want to use about 28 pips stop. Our first take profit targets will be about 56 pips here. That's about 1:2, nothing too serious here. And if price do commit, we'll be targeting a much lower level, which is in next hook point, which is here. That will be about 123 pips. However, this will be our first take profit target when the sell do kick in. I'm going to also be sending the trade signal when I do see a confirmation for a good entry. I want to get a solid rejection of this zone here before I commit to taking the sell side. If I don't get that solid rejection, I will possibly just sit on my hands and wait for price to commit. However, for the most part, since NFP will be coming out this week, I think Euro USD is going to stall a lot and also give false signals like I mentioned earlier before we started this forecast. So away from this now if you look at this closely, for the most part we have JPY pairs, right guys? We have JPY pairs on the list. For the previous week it was Swiss pairs, it was CHF all over the place. Now we have JPYs. So to save us time now, I'm going to be looking at about 3 of the JPY pairs, and for the most part the other pairs are having similar setup with what others are having, but then we want to handpick the one that is giving us that good entry, and everything is lining up very sharp, just as we did for the previous week. So starting off with this, I want to look at EURCHF. That's the first thing I want to look at. So let's go over to the monthly chart and look at what we have here. So for the most part, EURCHF has been trending up for weeks now. This is as a result of the euro being very strong and the JPYs has been weak. However, the Bank of Japan has stepped into do the intervention which they usually do periodically on the yen pair. So if you look at this guy is currently bouncing off this major structural level here. We'll have this level as a very strong level that holds price from crossing this major key level, and each time we bounce off from here we do get aggressive sell-offs here. So you can look at this that in the past you can see how aggressive this sell-off was. We didn't have much retracement when the sell kicked in. The same thing we had here as well. So what we want to do is based off what we've seen on price action, we want to keep a close eye on this and be very, very prepared with whatever the market has to offer. So we want to be prepared when this sell starts to commit. We want to be able to leverage on it. So if we look at the weekly chart now, on the weekly chart the market has started turning. We have this sharp turn from the weekly side of things. Now if you look at this now, we have sold off and we're currently bouncing off this region here, or bouncing off this region here, which I'm going to be expecting a short-term buy, which is likely going to trade all the way to this region, and maybe then we'll start to sell off. But for the meantime, I want to focus on this to see how the buys are going to build up. If the buys get invalidated, of course I'm very open to switching up my buyers and reading between the lines to see where the market wants to go to and go with the flow. So for the meantime, as we head into this new trading week, what I want to see is there's a possibility that price will want to trickle its way to tag this level here to create a double bottom here. Now the double bottom will be like a hint from price that we're going to get a buy side. That's price bouncing up from this region. Now when this buys kick in, we'll be anticipating this level here as our first take profit. Now I want to mark out this level as my area of profit taking, depending on how the buy side builds up in this particular trade here. Now if we move over from this is EURJPY. If we look at GBP-JPY also has a very similar chart setup as well. And if we also go all the way down and if we look at let's say USD-JPY, also a very similar setup. Like I said earlier, this is because the common denominator here is the JPY pairs, so you don't necessarily need to trade all pairs on this watch list. So you just need to handpick one or two depending on your risk preference or tolerance here. But then for the most part, EURJPY and GBP-JPY are the ones that are looking really good. So GBP-JPY had the most sell-off across the JPY pairs, and if you look at this also, we are currently bouncing off this region here, and this is the next major key level here from the daily chart. So on the daily chart, if we zoom in closely, I want to see a major peaking momentum. Why? Because this particular candle formation we have here is a gold rejection candle formation, which is also a good sign of reversal on the market, right? Now if we drop down to the hourly chart, on the 4-hour chart, the same scenario of what we looked at for EURJPY is what we're going to be looking at here. I want to see price trickle his way back down here to reject off from this region here. I want to see a very strong bullish momentum of this region. Something like this should give us a good hint that okay, now we're having a very strong buy side in the market and this could take off. So depending on how we take off from this region, this year will be like the first area for profit taking target, and we'll reassess the chart depending on how everything plays out. Now within the Telegram community, we usually have periodical live sessions which will analyze the market together with the community, just as I'm forecasting here, to look at what has changed in the market. So the link to the Telegram channel will be in the video description so that you can be part of our winning community, right? So that's to sum up what we have for the week. However, just before we wrap up, let's compare what we have between these two pairs that we've mentioned earlier on, so you can see how very similar they are. So this also on the daily chart. Let's look at EURJPY on the daily chart. This is EURJPY and this is let's move this over to this is GBP-JPY. So these are both on the daily chart. You can see how very similar the price action is, which boils down to the conclusion I gave, that you don't necessarily need to take more than two of these setups. Just one or two is very okay, guys. So that'll be all for now, guys. I hope this video is a very helpful one and educational one for you guys. Do drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what do you have on watch, which of these pairs is going to be like your most preferred one, and cheers guys, keep it simple. I'll see you on the next one.